Two people walk into the same store, same item, same second. One pays more than the other, and the only reason is who they are. That's not a glitch. It's the design. When researchers tested it on 400 shoppers buying identical groceries, 3 out of 4 items came back at a different price. The tag had already decided what you would pay. It isn't reporting a cost anymore, it's reading you. We treat the price tag as a fact. The number on the shelf is the number. It's the same for the person behind you and the person who came in yesterday. That fairness is so basic, we never think about it. For most of retail history, it was even true. Printing a different price for every customer was impossible. There weren't enough tags or enough time. One price for everyone wasn't a kindness. It was a limit of the technology. That limit is gone. So here's what doesn't fit. If the cost of the milk is the cost of the milk, why would the same basket in the same store in the same second ring up differently for 2 people? The official answer is dynamic pricing. Prices move with supply and demand, like airline seats. But that's not what the test found. The price wasn't moving with the market. It was moving with the person. And that is a different thing entirely. The market doesn't know your name. This does. Underneath modern pricing is a machine with one job. Estimate the most you, personally, are willing to pay and charge it. In January 2025, the Federal Trade Commission studied this directly. Its staff found that companies use a person's information down to their mouse movements on a web page to set targeted, tailored prices. The inputs are everything you leave behind, your precise location, whether you're on an iPhone or an Android, your browsing history, how long you lingered, what you almost bought, then abandoned. Put simply, the system builds a guess about your wallet and prices to it. Economists have a clinical name for the dream version of this. Perfect price discrimination. Charge each person the exact maximum they would tolerate. For 200 years, that was a theory. The data finally made it buildable. Now, the comfortable thought is that this is a few shady apps. It isn't. When the FTC went looking, it didn't subpoena scammers. It sent orders to 8 companies, and the names are the point: Mastercard, JP Morgan Chase, Accenture, McKinsey. These firms sell the pricing brains, and the FTC found they served at least 250 clients, from grocery chains to clothing stores. Here's the part most people miss. There is no single villain to point at. The store doesn't have to be evil. It just rents the engine. The engine is infrastructure, like a payment processor, but for deciding what you specifically will pay. That's the line worth repeating. They don't set a price for the product anymore. They set a price for you. Now, you'd expect the government to dig deeper. It started to. Then, something strange happened. In early 2025, a new chairman took over the FTC, and one of the first things he did was shut down the public comment period on the surveillance pricing study, the part where ordinary people get to weigh in. He had already voted against releasing the staff report at all, so the most detailed look the government had ever taken at how you're priced was quietly closed, right as the public was about to answer. The study didn't conclude. It was paused, and the machine it described kept running. This isn't new, it's just newly powerful. Back in 2000, Amazon got caught charging different people different prices for the same DVDs. It apologized and refunded about 7,000 customers. In 2012, the Wall Street Journal found a travel site quietly steering Mac users toward pricier hotels because Mac users, on average, spent more. Those were clumsy experiments. Today's version is a super analyst. That's the actual phrase Delta's president, Glenn Howenstein, used on an earnings call in 2025, describing the AI now helping price its tickets. He said about 3% of domestic fares were already AI priced, and the goal was 20% by year's end. 3 US senators wrote to Delta with a warning in plain English. This will likely push prices up to each customer's personal, quote, pain point. Delta then denied it personalizes fares at all. And maybe that's true. But notice the pattern. Every company named, Delta, Kroger, Instacart, responded the same way. They didn't say the technology can't do it. They said they weren't doing the visible version. Then, Instacart quietly ended its price testing program right after the 400-person study went public. So, what does this cost a real person? The FTC gave one example that should stop you cold. A shopper the system tags as a new parent, anxious, sleep-deprived, will pay anything, may intentionally be shown higher-priced baby thermometers on the first page of results. Read that again. The more you need something, the more the machine may charge you for it. The single mother buying medicine at 2 a.m. on a dying phone is, to the model, a high willingness to pay. The system doesn't see a struggling person. It sees a profile that won't walk away. And you'd never know. There's no line on the receipt that says personal data surcharge. That's the quiet part. The harm is real, and it's designed to be invisible. Step back, and the shape appears. We were told the internet would make prices more fair. Perfect information, easy comparison, a race to the lowest number. Instead, the same data that was supposed to empower the shopper got turned around to read the shopper. The flashlight you were handed became a camera pointed back at you, and the trade was disguised as convenience. The loyalty card, the free app, the personalized experience. Each one was also a sensor feeding the machine the very profile it uses to price you. You didn't lose the fair price in a single event. You traded it away, one click of accept at a time. But here's why this isn't a story about hopelessness. In 2026, 2 states did something simple and radical. Maryland banned personalized pricing on groceries outright, and Connecticut went further. It didn't just restrict it, it forced it to confess. Under the Connecticut law, a price set using your personal data has to say so on screen in plain words. This price was increased using your personal data. Think about why that works. The whole system depends on you never knowing. No one knowingly accepts a surcharge for being themselves. The moment the price has to admit what it's doing, the machine loses its only real weapon, the dark. And Maryland and Connecticut aren't alone. By 2026, roughly 24 states had introduced more than 40 bills to rein this in, with fines that bite. $10,000 a violation in Maryland, a proposed $12,500 in California, tripled if a company does it on purpose. For the first time, putting a price on who you are carries a price of its own. So the next time you see a price, ask the question they're betting you won't. Is this the price of the thing or the price of me? Because the tag isn't just looking out anymore, it's looking back. Subscribe and watch the next video.